You know, I just listen to what they're trying to do, and I do it. And they said,
Oh, your campaign going, and you were on social media more than the average. That's like I'm open a vote.
yeah, 3 weeks. So it was done 3 weeks ago, tomorrow,
Just trying to be friends.
which is shocking.
So, yeah, as we.
Yeah.
My CIO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
We didn't
just
elevate it.
yell at the
Yeah,
councilman.
absolutely.
If they don't
It's slow, but it's okay.
understand.
Oh, do you need a new one? Nah. it's fine.
You're everywhere. You're just everywhere. Where it's good. You're gonna win. Do you have anybody running against you? Why eventually they throw somebody out there? Just because.
Always have to get it done.
Yeah. That's not part about it. You used to.
We've got, I think, one.
Hopefully it's somebody that's
Now.
make it easy for you.
Good morning and welcome everyone. Good morning and welcome once again to the February 9th Monterey Salinas Transit District Board of Directors meeting. This meeting is being held in person and is offered via Zoom. And you may also attend by phone. Those numbers are on the packet. So at this time, I would like to go ahead and just call this meeting to order. The time is 10:05. And Jeanette, roll call please.
City of Carmel by the Sea. City of Del Rey Oaks.
Here.
City of Gonzales.
Here.
City of Greenville.
Here.
City of King. City of Marina.
Here.
City of Monterey.
Here.
City of Pacific Grove.
Here.
City of San City.
Here.
City of Salinas.
We are here.
City of Seaside.
Here.
City of Soledad.
Here,
Thank you.
and do I have to announce just cause?
Yes, you do.
Alright, so I'm in my house, there's no one under 18 and do I just say just cause?
Just cause, that's all you need.
Alright, thank you.
And County of Monterey. Absent. And you do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we'll move on to item 1, 2, Pledge of Allegiance. And I would like to ask Elizabeth Fisher if she would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
You say with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll move to I-13 and a review of highlights. Carl?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Among your usual reports, we have on the agenda, consent agenda, item 3.5 is the reappointment of 2 members to the Measure Q Oversight Committee. And we have a resolution to reallocate $1.3 million in low carbon transit operations programs funds from a hydrogen facility project for the South County facility and move that towards the procurement of the 13 Gillig battery electric buses. And then elsewhere on the agenda under the action items, we are continuing the discussion that was started last month regarding charges for tariff-related cost increase on the purchase of 13 battery electric buses. And that concludes my agenda. So relatively light agenda, so we can probably anticipate going to 12:30.
Okay, and I think we kind of 3-2, Carl, could you touch bases on that one? I don't know if you, yeah.
3.2 is
very important.
Yeah, it is our annual yes, it is our annual comprehensive financial report and report from auditors that concludes there were no significant findings in our financial report.
Okay,
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
And with that, I did want to recognize that the County of Monterey, Luis Alejo is with us.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Good being.
And with that, at this time, The consent calendar consists of, well, let's see. Sorry, we'll go to public comments on matters not on the agenda. So at this time, members of the public may address the board on any item not related to what's on today's agenda, but related to MST. So with that, public comment is open. And I see a very familiar.
Good morning.
Welcome.
I'm Carmelita Garcia, resident of Pacific Grove, former mayor of Pacific Grove, and it's a joy seeing all of you around this table. But nowadays, what I'm doing is I'm chasing the deer in Pacific Grove, counting them up, watching the fawns, and trying to advocate for their safety through education, public outreach. I want to share with you just some information about us. We already have one fawn born. It's hanging out at the beach track. Typically, they aren't born until the end of March through July and what have you. But I'm here to specifically ask that bus drivers in Pacific Grove be made aware that we are in fawning season and to please adhere to the speed limits, if not anything else, to slow down, particularly in the beach track. The majority of our fawns hang out there around the golf course and what have you. Other vulnerable areas include Forest Avenue right at the middle school. We have a herd of 10 doe, and they have a tendency to cross the street over to Canterbury Woods. So other areas include Congress Avenue, Central Avenue, and again, particularly the beach track. We do public outreach. I've left some of our rack cards for you. If you want more, let me know. We're happy to provide them for you. KSBW really enjoys interviewing us, as well as radio stations. We've done radio interviews. We are the organization, we are a nonprofit that put up the red and white fawning signs last season. They're going back up again this season, and we have a wait list. Hopefully we can order those additional signs. They were very, very effective. The previous fawning season, we went from particularly 12 fawn being hit down to 6 this past season, 3 of which passed away at birth. So we had 2 that were hit by vehicles and 1 whose cause of death was unknown to us. And one of the real special services we provide, which is really what prompted us to become the nonprofit that we are, is we remove carcasses off of private property in Pacific Grove at no charge. And this service is available to permanent residents in Pacific Grove, and we provide a great service to our residents by doing this. It has eliminated the chaos that our residents used to endure trying to find help in getting the carcasses off of their property. And the company we contract with, they not only remove the carcass, but they also disinfect the entire area to ensure that, you know, whatever may have developed in the ground is taken care of. We distribute over 600 rack cards to our hotels and businesses in Pacific Grove each summer. They're very appreciative of that. We have the new Mirador Hotel. We hope to create a relationship with them as well. And we're at the PG Farmers Market the first and third Monday of each month. So with that, that's all I want to share with you. And thank you for my 3 minutes. And we look forward to developing a relationship with you all. So thank you.
Thank you for your advocacy. Public comment is still open. Anyone online, but at the podium.
Good morning, members of the board and MST staff. Josh Stevens, North Monterey here. Since we're just a few days away from Valentine's Day, I wanted to come here and share a bit of a love letter regarding our experiences with our local transit system. First, I have to tell you, I am head over heels for the Jazz Lines. In the world of transit, frequency is the ultimate love language. Knowing that I can step out and have a bus show up every 15 or 30 minutes to take me to the wharf, local businesses, and downtown makes this peninsula feel connected. And honestly, I love the tap-to-pay system. It's sleek, it's modern, and makes the whole experience seamless. Not having to fumble for change feels like a gift every time I board. It feels that MST is actually looking towards the future. I love the sheer practicality of the service. There's a certain romance in the $2 fare. Being able to head to the grocery store, fill up my bags, and get home safely, all for the price of a cup of coffee, is a lifeline. In an economy where everything's getting expensive, that affordability is something I truly cherish. But as we all know, Valentine's Day is also a time for reflection on the ones that got away. And this year, my heart is genuinely heavy. Last year for Valentine's Day, my wife and I went on the handcar tours. It was one of the most unique, joyful, and romantic experiences we've ever had here. We were looking forward to making it a tradition, a way to celebrate our relationship while admiring the beauty of the Central Coast, strolling down the rails that would one day bring an end to the gridlock. But this year, that's gone. The track is silent. It's deeply saddening that a vibrant, loved part of our community's identity was cut short. It's a heartbreak we've suffered specifically because of the decisions made by this agency ever so hastily. So while I do appreciate the jazz in my life, I really wish MST hadn't broken the community's heart by ending the handcar legacy. We can have great buses and preserve the unique experiences that make Monterey special. I do hope that in the future, your love for this community includes protecting the gems we already had. Thank you.
Thank you. And public comment is still open. Not seeing any hands being raised via Zoom. I'd like to thank everyone here for your comments in person, and we'll go ahead and close public comment. With that, we'll move on to item 3, the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of routine items which directors can approve with a single motion of vote. A director may request an item be placed on the regular agenda for separate consideration. At this time, does a director wish to pull an item, or do they have any questions regarding the consent item? The consent item can be found on pages 7 through 39, and they are items 3.1 through 3.7. So at this time, is there any comments on the consent agenda or anything to be pulled? Not seeing any, I'll go to the public, and I'll ask the public at this time if they have any comments. Public comment is open. And this is on the consent agenda. And not seeing any hands or anyone coming to the podium. We have a motion, Director Alejo, and a second, Director Smith. All those in favor, please. Actually, we need a roll call vote. So with that, Jeanette, roll call vote, please.
Carmel by the Sea is absent. City of Delray Oaks.
Yes.
City of Gonzales.
Yes.
City of Greenfield.
Yes.
City of Kings is absent. City of Marina.
Yes.
City of Monterey.
Yes.
City of Pacific Grove.
Yes.
City of San City.
Yes.
City of Salinas.
Yes.
City of Seaside.
Yes.
City of Soledad.
Yes.
And County of Monterey.
Aye.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, thank you. With that, we will move on to the next agenda item 4.1, and this is a recognition of February employee of the month. Curtis Wilson is Marzette here. Marzette will be giving us an introduction. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. First one to join me up here. Good morning, Marzette Henderson here, Transportation Manager with MST. I am pleased to announce that MST has selected Coach Operator Curtis Wilson for Employee of the Month for February 2025. His professionalism, his excellent customer service, and positive attitude and kindness towards our passengers and colleagues represent the best of MST. Curtis is well known as a vibrant presence in our break rooms. And since joining MST in March 2022, he has distinguished himself as an operator who brings warmth, skill, and genuine compassion to his work. A recent customer commendation highlights his extraordinary attentiveness towards 2 passengers with special needs riding the Jazz B. During the trip, Curtis greeted them by name, confirmed they understood their destination, and ensured they had all their belongings before they departed. What may be a routine procedure for a trained operator left a lasting impression on other riders who praised Curtis's sincerity, kindness, and dignified support he provided during what appeared to be a special outing for these passengers. Curtis also contributes to MST's internal culture through his service as a coach operator mentor and also serving on our coach operator mentorship committee, where he helps guide and support new operators. His commitment to teamwork, his positive energy, and his consistent professionalism exemplify the values MST strives to recognize through this program. Please join me in congratulating Curtis on his well-deserved recognition, Employee of the Month, February 2025. Thank you. There are a few words.
Sure. I'm Curtis Wilson. I want you to know.
Curtis, hi Curtis.
I came to MST 4 years ago last month with the understanding that I have a pretty strong background in customer service. One of the questions during the interview process was, what do you know about MST? I didn't know much. I've always had a car, never took the bus. I can't say that. I did take the bus for like 2 days. But I did know that I love the public. I'm very good at it. 15 years in car sales, another 6 or 7 years in health and fitness. I've got a long history of public service. When I got to MST, their training program was here. You know, it was something that I had done before, I was experienced with, and I just kind of hit the ground running. So their current training, the ongoing training, is still up here. It allows me to be me. It allows those of us that are 10, 20 years, 25, 30 years of driving for MST to still have that customer service background and represent it well in the public. It allows me, when I sit in the break rooms and I listen to all the banter back and forth, to go, okay, this is not really what I want to listen to, but this guy has it down. I want to model myself after this guy. He's been here 25 years. He still smiles. He still says thank you. He still says goodbye. You know, people love riding with him. That's the person I want to model myself after. This award means a lot to me. I had excuse me for being emotional, a dark period of my life with addiction. March will be 16 years clean. And the last 4 have been a blessing with MST. I truly love it. Upper management, everybody, the mentorship program I'm proud to be a part of, to give my love for MST to the new drivers that are coming on board. So thank you. Thank you for the recognition.
So you heard from Marzette terms like warmth and compassion and what I'll call empathy. And as highly praised that Curtis speaks of our training department, those are things that we can't necessarily train. Those are things you bring with you. Those are things you brought to us. So I want to thank you for bringing that empathy to us and to our passengers, because you can see how it was received by those who are much less fortunate than ourselves. So with that, I want to thank you with the Employee of the Month pen.
Thank you.
The Employee of the Month resolution, and most importantly, a check. So thank you so much. So there's the money. Let's
Show me the money.
some photos here with leadership.
Best part.
That's right.
Thank you.
Probably recognized him for car stuff.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. Yeah. A few seconds, we'll be missing.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, MST. All right, thank you so much.
Those are the right kind of people.
I have proof of teaching skills.
You bet.
Wish every agency was this positive.
Very good.
Okay, we will go ahead at this time and move on down the agenda. There's no public hearing, so no need for item 5. We do have one action item, item 6. And this is consideration tariff-related costs for 13 Gillig battery electric buses. And Norm will be giving us a presentation.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, members of the board, for this opportunity to speak to you today. We came back this month to further discussions on this to really kind of hone in on what the recommendation is. So last month we talked about it. This is an approval for you folks to consider. First of all, I want to make sure that you're all tuned in page 41 of our agenda. Last month, we talked about this. I'll ask Carl to chime in if he has anything else that he'd like to contribute as well. But we went through, we had a request from Gillig for additional costs associated with tariffs that we're going through as we're purchasing these 13 battery electric buses. We hired a consultant who confirmed a couple of different things. Number one, he confirmed that the information that Gillig provided met and complied with FTA's guidance, and that is to give us a list of every tariff affected component or element within the bus, to list out their price that they paid, and then the difference between the tariffs and the actual price that we paid that was in the original scope of work and the quote that we received. In addition to that, he found $84,000 that were included in the tariffs that will be reduced. So the dollar amount that you see in front of you today is for up to $332,445.60. And what we're recommending is that you allow MST, you allow this gentleman over here, Carl, to pay the tariffs, the $332,000, contingent upon the Supreme Court ruling that says tariffs are acceptable and not illegal. And that's what we're here today. So
Just the only other thing that I would add, and Norm, you didn't put it in because I didn't add it into the memo, so great job of summarizing the memo. But we did have general counsel review the actual contract that this procurement was purchased under a joint procurement run by the state of Washington. And it does provide language within the contract should the vendor who was provided their quotes receive some unanticipated, uncontrollable act of government that caused their prices to go up, that they could, under the terms of the contract, request a price increase. It doesn't hold us to necessarily providing that, but staff's take on it is if in fact the tariffs are deemed legal, these are legitimate costs that were borne by our manufacturer that was out of their control.
Right.
And we're not in the business of putting our manufacturers out of business. So my only concern is, given using public funds, that this be deemed legal, since we're looking at a February 20th Supreme Court ruling on this, which still puts us in the acceptance timeframe for this procurement. That would then give me the authority, should the Supreme Court rule in favor, we pay it. If not, then it will be up to the OEM to claw back what they incurred.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to point out is on page 2 of this, we conducted a survey. So Carl asked me to send out a survey to all of our California-based transit agencies. Many of them did respond, and in the response, we had a couple of different questions. Did you receive a notice of tariffs being charged to your bus purchase? Yes or no? If yes, then we had another set of questions. The questions were basically, are you going to pay? Some of them said yes, no problem. Others are doing and following the same suit that we are doing. We're either negotiating or we're coming to our board saying, hey, let's wait to see if the tariffs are deemed legal or illegal before we pay it. And so that's what we're here today to ask you folks for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you for your staff report, Norm and Carl. So directors, at this time, Do you have any questions?
Just one quick question. Thank you, Norm, and I appreciate the oversight of every dollar to make sure that it's appropriately done. A question, the original request from Gillick was for 416,000. So we went through a process with a consultant to determine the exact amount we felt should be, and they came up with the 322,000. So do we believe that Gillick is satisfied with our proposal of an approval once it's deemed appropriate within a SCOTUS ruling of 322, and they're not still asking for 416?
So I'll say that in our initial discussions, Michael, I think you were on the call as well. They made it very clear that this is an ask. They're asking us to consider paying this. It's not a demand. It's not an additional quote. It's not an additional, price that they're or forcing us to pay. It's merely an ask, and our response is going to be exactly what you approve us to say. So if you approve us to move forward with, the 332,000, that's what our response is going to be to them.
They are acting differently than maybe some of their competitors in the market that I'm aware of in response to our survey. Some of the other manufacturers are holding the vehicles and not delivering them. Or refusing to accept further orders from folks. I mean, they're playing very heavy-handed. Gillig is not being that way.
That's right. We've got all 13 battery electric buses on property.
Long-term relationship that we have with them, and I appreciate that. My issue is, if it's legal, why not pay it? If it's not legal, maybe we shouldn't pay it. So,
Yeah, that's the only question I had. Thanks.
So Carl, and to our council, who does that payment go to? The company had to pay a tariff amount. That company is sending this amount plus any other amount for any other projects they have. Who are they paying that money to?
who is Gillig paying the money to?
Where's the tariff going?
Gillig has already paid their OEMs, their contractors, like the people who provide the subcomponents. Most of this is related to components that are manufactured outside of the US or
Right.
So battery components may be manufactured in China or India or somewhere else, or other components that may be coming from European markets. Be clear that this all meets the Buy America.
Right.
All of these buses meet Buy America, so they're 75–80% American content. That applies only to that content that is legally allowed to be sourced outside of the US. Gillig has so the subcontractor, the component provider, ships a component to the US. It gets held by customs in what they refer to me as tariff jail until they provide a check, I think, to the US government that says this is the Treasury Department for this amount. And then they send a bill to Gillig saying you owe us this amount for the tariff that was imposed. So Gillig is now attempting to, this is a increase in cost that they didn't have control of, that they didn't anticipate when we made this order over 2 years ago. We agreed to this price. So they're asking to try to get funding back to the money that they've already had to put out to their subcontractor. Now, this is the question for any company that's had tariffs. What happens if the Supreme Court rules? It will be up for Gillig and these other manufacturers to negotiate with the Treasury to get reimbursed. My take on it is, it's the industries are probably better positioned to do that than each of the public transit operators who may pay for this and try to negotiate with the US Treasury. So I would like to stay out of it. If it is deemed illegal, it's really up to Gillig and their component providers to negotiate with the federal government over this, and we're out. I'm just trying to keep us out of it. If it's deemed legal, we pay it, and Gillig recoups its costs and its profit margins.
But we only pay if the Supreme Court rules that the tariffs are valid.
Correct.
And what's the likelihood of that?
No, it's
Yeah.
Only.
Well, there's a lot of experts who opine based on what was argued
Yeah.
in the oral
Only
hearings
9
before the
men and
Supreme Court.
women know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it's another example of it's not some foreign government paying. When you put imposing tariffs, this is like a clear example. We're the ones paying, and in this case, it's local government agencies now paying the federal government this tariff or tax on what otherwise would have been unnecessary.
And
avoidable.
and sometimes with federal dollars. So
Yeah,
we're,
exactly.
we're
Yeah.
so there was a push when this was originally being proposed from our industry to say, hey, exempt public assets like this from the tariffs because
Right.
we're just spending public dollars.
Exactly.
And maybe getting less for our dollar. That was not, that argument did not carry the day at this time. It may carry the day in a future. There were tariffs prior to this. I mean, you know, we were already paying tariffs.
So we've always had tariff.
So it's just these new tariffs are what are at discussion, being discussed. So, and that's what the analysis that our consultant went to. What were the tariffs before the procurement? What were the tariffs after the procurement? What documentation can you provide to prove that you paid the tariff? And that's the difference between the 416,000 and the 335,000. Is that what could they prove? So it was a good, I don't know, $3,000 that we spent with the consultant because we ultimately found that there was an $84,000 delta had we just accepted that base value what was presented to us.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Director Emilio and then we'll go over to Director Worthy.
Thank you for the information. I have just a couple of questions. You mentioned components, right?
Correct.
It's not the battery. There's one question. It's not the battery, electric battery itself that is what's the cost on the tariff, or is it just components?
There's several components that they identified. It's a short list. I want to say less than 10 components. I don't recall if it was the battery, but there's probably less than 10 components on the list that were affected by the tariffs.
Okay, and the components you mentioned, China and India, is there any particular country? Just curiosity.
I don't believe I mean, I think we can get to country of origin, but in our report, I don't recall seeing that.
Okay, that's okay. And then what's the timeline if this is all approved? And Mr. Leo said I would have to bet that the Supreme Court might go along with the tariffs, but I don't know. I'm not part of the Supreme Court. But if everything's great, what's the timeline on getting these buses?
We have them.
We've got
them.
Yeah,
buses are
Yeah. Process of accepting. So we are going through the 13 buses have all arrived. We are in the process of accepting them. So we're making sure that they are, you know,
the punch list.
Yeah, the wheels aren't square, the wheels are round, the wheels are, no, they operate as intended. And we have a punch list, the exact correct word. So we're going through the punch list of any nuanced corrections. Then a bill will come.
Okay.
And the bill will come, and then we have X amount of days to pay the bill. This is all happening at a time when I think the timing for us is great because by the time the bill comes, we're pretty certain the Supreme Court will have ruled on this.
You just couldn't say the check's in the mail or something like that, or?
I don't want to promise a check if I'm not going to pay the check.
That's
so that was
you always hear that.
I've been upfront with Gillig this whole time saying I don't believe I know I don't have the authority to change the price by more than 150,000, and even if I did, I'm not confident that this is legal, and I don't want to spend public money on something that the courts might find is illegal. So we're going to take this route, and they were fine with that. They understand, and they are getting as our own survey indicated. I asked them, "What are you hearing from your clients?" And they said, "Well, they're all over the place." So I appreciated their telling me that. We then conducted a survey assisted by the California Transit Association. And we found out that our peers are all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what Gillig told us was true. Every transit operator is handling it differently. There are some that are handling it just the way we are. Foothill Transit in San Gabriel Valley is one. And there are others that are saying, well, we just paid what they asked for and we didn't do the analysis. And I wouldn't counsel someone to do that because there are federal rules about this.
Yeah.
So, this is what staff believes is the best approach.
Okay. Yes, and Lorraine,
Yeah, mine was kind of a dovetail off of what you said, Carl. The question is, let's say they rule in favor of the tariffs on the 20th, then we have enough time to pay Gillig.
Yeah.
That was really what
It's
it was.
part of our normal,
Yeah.
it just becomes part of our normal accounts payable
Right.
process.
Okay, that was it. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to recognize Director Cabrera and then we'll go over to Director Fisher.
Thank you. I was wondering if, let's say that court rulings doesn't come before we actually pay. And if we pay and then the court rulings come, are we gonna get a refund for that money? Or do we get credit for the money if we purchase something else from them? How are we dealing with that situation in case that we paid?
The direction that, and what I intended the direction to be is that we don't pay until we have certainty of what the ruling is. So we will pay the flat amount without, if there is no ruling by the time Gillig says your bill is due, we'll pay them the original price, the 1.3 million per bus.
Yeah.
Which was the contract, and then we'll continue to wait for the, staff with this direction will continue to wait until there is a ruling. We anticipate the ruling to be February 20th. There are much bigger tariff issues at stake other than transit bus prices. So we're hoping that there'll be some urgency by the Supreme Court to actually get this ruling out sooner rather than later.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question. And Director Fisher.
Thank you, and thank you for this presentation. And I totally agree with the staff's recommendation, and I appreciate how you always prepare this. Just a quick insert. Yeah, battery tariffs on batteries, particularly those imported from China, and there's a very good chance that they come from China. Rates increasing to as high as 25% for lithium-ion batteries, and potentially reaching 150% for certain products. And just in general, people living in this country, the tariffs are being passed on. So this is what happens.
Yeah, Gillig, the Gillig vice president, who I was negotiating with said, yeah, this is not great, but be glad that you got your order in when you did, because the folks who are receiving their batteries this calendar year or next are anticipating much higher cost increases. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other comments or questions? And if not, I will go ahead and open this up to public comment. And public comment is open. And I'm not seeing anyone in the room or on via Zoom. So we'll go ahead and close public comment. And directors, there is a staff recommendation on page 41 to approve the Gillig request for tariff-related cost increase of $332,445.60 for 13 electric buses, contingent upon the ruling of legality by the Supreme Court of the United States. I hear a motion, Joe,
second from
and a
David.
second. And with that, Jeanette, a
City
roll
of
call
Carmel
vote.
by the Sea is absent. City of Delray Oaks.
Yes.
City of Gonzales.
Yes.
City of Greenfield.
Yes.
City of King is absent. City of Marina.
Yes.
City of Monterey.
Yes.
City of Pacific Hill.
Yes.
City of San City.
Yes.
City of Salinas.
Yes.
City of Seaside.
Yes.
City of Soledad.
Yes.
And County of Monterey.
Yes, with hesitation.
Motion.
We don't
Understood.
spend money like.
11-0.
Thank you.
You just
Thank
want
you.
to appoint it to the
Thank
Supreme
you,
Court.
thank you, Norm, for your staff report. With that, we'll move on to the next item, item 7, page 43. These are reports and information items. Board receives these reports, which do not require action. Do we want to go into any of these?
I just say that, I speak of, in my general manager's report, the calendar year-end results, through, December 31st. Our monthly report only has through November, as I mentioned to this board last month. We are having some staffing issues in our finance department. We will catch up on the monthly reports. Next month, you'll get 2 monthly reports in your packet and we'll be current again. However, just for your sake, we did have an increase in passenger boardings across the board for the calendar year, over 4.5% increase on the standard fixed route bus, at 21% over the past 2 years on the fixed route bus. Our van pool program over the past 2 years has nearly doubled at over 100,000 passenger boardings. MST rides continues to have a healthy increase. Taxi vouchers are up, as well as our volunteer programs, and that puts us just over 3 million at 3,009,285 passenger boardings for calendar year 2025. We continue year-over-year growth in ridership, so that's a good thing. Something for you, starting on page 51, you'll see the analysis of our new South County lines, 31, 32, 33, 34 through Gonzales, Soledad, Greenfield, King City, respectively. And you can see doubling of transit ridership in the quarter, October through December, year to year in Gonzales, a tripling in Soledad, almost a quadruple, a doubling in Greenfield and King City, who has had the South County circulators in place for several years, had a more nominal increase, but they've already experienced their growth earlier when they implemented. So by all measures, the fixed route ridership is successful in King City. Conversations with Supervisor Lopez, though, has indicated, though, that there is still a gap in people needing on-demand services, something similar to the taxi vouchers. We've been unsuccessful in getting a taxi company to provide taxi voucher trips in the South County communities. We are now working with and having discussions with a group called the Leap Institute. They have another name, it's escaping me, but they're out of the Hanford Coalinga area, and they are providing some transportation services in Pajaro area and in some of the South County communities. And we're looking to them to see if they can fill the gap for those special services for seniors, veterans, persons with disabilities that would act like taxi vouchers in the South County communities. Apparently there's only one pharmacy now available in South County, and so members from these communities have to get there to Soledad. And so hopefully we'll be able to come up with a solution in the coming months. This has just been a very frustrating issue for us with the local cab companies. So we're giving up on the local cab companies and we're looking elsewhere, because we try to have this hands off, let the market fill the gap. Well, the market hasn't come forward, so we're going to step in and try to make something happen here. So that's where we're at. Yep.
Mr. Sadoric, any idea? I'm sure it's profit, but why wouldn't taxi companies be interested?
It's just, it's the distances traveled, and the amount of fares that they can get. It's sheer profit. We've reached out to Uber and Lyft. Even Ubers and Lyfts are unwilling to, comes down to that. It's the amount of distance that needs to be traveled for what the fare that they can get for this. And they've just been unwilling or unable. And we've had multiple discussions. I've even gone as far as offering to Uber and Lyft type of solutions. You get first take at countywide, all taxi voucher trips, and you dispatch them. Keep the best ones for yourselves, but make certain you have to commit that service will be provided in South County. That is my one over. Oh, and they do drug testing and everything else. And we just haven't been successful in getting those companies to do that. So my initial discussions with the folks from this new group, they indicate a willingness to do everything we need to do. So we'll see if we can get it on ink in paper with them and more to come.
Can you think of any other incentive, with those taxi companies that MST has been working with?
We have actually written ordinances for them so that they could be adopted by the local cities, so that the ordinances were in place. We have tried to spoon feed this to the local communities and our local taxi cab companies, and they are just. We've had Yellow Cab has, indicate, oh, we are going to do this, and then when the time comes, they don't. We've had we certified a new taxi cab company just for this purpose, because they indicated that they would do this. And they didn't. So we're just, I think the local companies, the private companies here locally aren't interested or able to do what we need to do for South County. So we're gonna reach outside and try to find a better solution.
And forgive me for keep asking another question. As you're looking outside, as board members, are we authorized to talk to any of these taxi companies? Kind of find out.
Yeah, I don't,
Well, I'm thinking more of the people that need the service.
Yeah.
So
they've had the taxi authority and the taxi vouchers have been around for 10 years.
no, I understand
And
that.
we've
but-
not been able, we've not been able to get that service.
Yeah, but I don't know, sometimes even just listening, the little whispering, sometimes taxi companies are hesitant, sometimes with MSC for whatever reason, I'm not saying it's. But as directors, who's in your staff, who's in charge of that?
It falls under Norm's group, and we have Kevin Alshouse is the contract.
Well, Norm's easy to work with, but because I do know that.
Yeah, no, they have to really work with me.
No, what I'm saying, because there has been.
Established that Norm is a keeper.
Yeah. So it's a green Raiteros. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are they're doing business as that. They're actually.
Under
affiliated
the
as
Leap Institute. Yeah. So we have had conversations. I've had 2 conversations with staff last week. And I've been leaving messages every couple of days with I think he's the executive director.
Eric, Gonzalez.
So he talked to Carl, and I'm just waiting to touch base with him so that we can talk about the problem that we have in South County that we're trying to resolve, and then, workshop it and see if we can come up with some solutions that'll work within the framework that we operate. But yeah, we've tried. Christy has tried really, really hard. She worked with a local taxi cab company who signed on, ready to go, just never produced, couldn't get out there. And that's the feedback that we get is that.
But any idea why that happened? If they signed on, what?
Yeah, so
Just through the chair, since this isn't agendized, I recommend we can make this agenda item future, but we're tipping the scale into discussion.
Okay, well, hopefully we can solve it before the next agenda.
Yeah.
I hope to report something back.
Yeah.
But we haven't kept it a secret that this is a problem in South County from the local industry. So.
Yeah. Okay, we hear you. We'll bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was familiar with, because I wrote the first letter to the California Resources Board for the nonprofit under Green Light Fellows to come to Pajaro and Watsonville. So they're a nonprofit, and they basically get money to get electric vehicles and then be able to take low-income families to their medical appointments or their kind of appointments. But they wanted to start in Pajaro, but with the vision to expand in other parts of the county. Hopefully that will be part of the solution.
They may be making that leap here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you. Item, online. Oh,
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry. Director Cabrera.
Thank you. And because I heard that they're going to bring the item back, and I'm not sure if I should wait, but I was thinking about the agricultural workers that they use vans to ride, and I was wondering if that will work with us. Also, because we have a lot of students that go to CSUMB and even MPC, and I've been receiving questions about maybe asking MST to have a particular bus that will go directly all the way, not going in different buses, but directly to CSUMB. But I'm thinking that it will be much a better use if we have like vans that could go pick up the students in certain places. But I probably can communicate with Carl later on and explain it.
MST does have an existing van pool program that is open to residents throughout Monterey County, and as I reported earlier, our ridership in the past 2 years has doubled on that, so we continue to
Okay.
work with agricultural companies, hospitality companies.
And for the students as well?
Qualify or not is, I'm a little fuzzy on, because they're generally work-related trips, but we've had some discussions, and I'm not, I'll have to get back to you on, whether a group of students can actually qualify for a van pool, because they're.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. With that, do we have anyone here for federal legislation? The report?
No, you have your reports in your packet, from our federal, and state, advocates,
Okay.
what's going on there.
Also staff trip reports, there's several in your packet. No correspondence. We could go ahead and move on to item 8, board reports, comments and referrals, 8.1. And are there any reports on meetings attended by board members at MST expense? Seeing none. Board member comments and announcements. Item 8.2. We've heard some comments. We could probably look into Carl maybe bringing this one item back regarding South County at the next meeting if you have any.
If there's anything new to report, I will bring it back.
Okay, thank you. And board member referrals for future agendas. I jumped the gun there, but anyone else? And not seeing anyone. There is no closed session, and with that, this meeting is adjourned. See you all March 9th.
Made up for the